Well, good morning, everyone. It's actually afternoon here in Laguna Niguel, California. And I'm actually at one of my listings. I met an appraiser, and that's one of the things we realtors do to make sure that our properties get appraised. Appraisers are very important to our business. And I am really passionate not only about real estate. I've been selling real estate here in South Orange County for actually 30 years, but I started in real estate 32 years because I got started in a small town called Ridgecrest. About 20,000 people, and I'm so grateful for that experience. But I've been in Orange County now for about 30 years. So I feel very blessed that I get to sell these beautiful homes in Orange County. The one I'm in currently, we have it under contract. We actually have all the contingencies removed. I just had to show up for the appraisal, even though it was not a contingency, because obviously I want our buyer to feel comfortable. We are representing both the buyer and the seller. That happens quite a bit. And there's no doubt that it is going to appraise. We even have a strong backup offer on the property. But anyway, let me get to my subject. Another thing that I am very passionate about, and I'm going to walk around the house so you could kind of see the staging that my team provides, because I own a staging company as well as a real estate business. But I always let people know that the staging is just the cherry on top when people list with me, because I've always prided myself on being a professional realtor for, well over, I'd say 29 years before I decided to start a staging company. I just wanted to add that extra benefit to our clients. And I don't get involved in the staging part at all. I have an amazing staging manager, Vicki Enzor, and also another designer, Oma, and they handle that department. And then I have a whole crew of different people that are in that department and movers, and I own my own moving truck. So, I'll just kind of walk around and you can see this lovely home, but it's really important that I share with you this incredible book I have been reading and listening to. So I'm very passionate about real estate, obviously, but I'm also very passionate about books. I love reading. I especially love reading anything about motivation, leadership, anything I could share with people, especially my team. And I could not be doing what I'm doing without surrounding myself with the incredible employees I have, the agents I have. I feel so fortunate every day. And it's great because no one on my team has a negative attitude. First, I wouldn't put up with that, but we are, all into helping one another out. And, another thing is I'm very passionate about, if you've been following me on these Facebook Live videos, I'm very passionate about my running, and I just started it, in January of this year, and I've already been doing ultra marathons. So I've done, a 50K, 30K, 120-mile stage race in Colorado, and I'm getting ready to do another 50K. And what's really exciting about this 50K coming up, it's in Ridgecrest, and it's on December 1st. It means so much to me because that is where my Aunt Kathy got me started in real estate 32 years ago, where I was selling homes that were valued at $65,000. And so I feel like I'm coming full circle by doing this 50-kilometer race in Ridgecrest. And I'll be staying with my Aunt Kathy, who, by the way, still owns a few Coldwell Banker offices. I'm with RE/MAX Select One, RE/MAX McGuire team, but I have no problem with any of the real estate offices. All real estate offices are great. Obviously, I love RE/MAX, and but my aunt still, she's 70. I don't even know how old she is. I think she's like 75 years old. She still owns 2 Coldwell Banker offices, but I'm going to get there a little bit early. I'm going to spend a couple nights with her, and then I'm going to need to recover for at least one night as well after the race, and then I'll get back on the road. But anyway, let me get into the book. So I'm going to cover a chapter like each time I do a Facebook Live video, and hopefully that will be every day. I haven't been as consistent lately as I used to be. But let me just show you some of the staging in the background. That is the kitchen area. No wonder this home sold so great and it's pretty quickly here. And this is the living room area. Okay, so Atomic Habits. I love books about forming habits and setting goals and all that. I'm a huge believer in that. You know, and also it's not all about just wishing for things and not just setting out goals. It's, you know, I'm a true believer that you need to like establish you know, what that goal is, first of all, and then what are the items, what are the things you need to do, like the habits you need to form to achieve that goal. And then you also need to monitor how you're progressing. So if it's an annual goal, then you are checking in, especially quarterly, with your goals and how you're doing, how you're progressing. And then obviously you're also checking in, not just quarterly, but monthly. And then, you know, I break it down to, you know, weekly, and then I write in a goal book. It's like a journal. And it's amazing because I can write out my goals for the day, what my 3 most important things are I'm going to do for the day. And so it keeps me on track. You don't have to go that crazy, but it's important to at least write down your goals and then write down some of the necessary steps. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me just get to the book. Okay, so one of the first qualities here is, or the first points, it says the quality of our lives depends on the quality of our habits. And it's so true. And I wish I knew this when I was younger. Okay, I'm gonna walk around the house. Okay, oh my gosh, habits are everything. And if you don't form good habits, you know, especially if you could form good habits when you're younger, oh my gosh, that makes such a difference and makes your life so much easier. Just forming the habit of like waking up early. That has made a huge difference in my life. So in regards to, you know, establishing those like little habits and everything, for instance, I, you know, wanted to make sure I started waking up early because especially since I want to get so many things accomplished, you know, and I did not want it to affect my business. So like ultra running takes up a lot of time. You know, I might have to put in 13 miles in a morning. So that means I need to wake up at around 4 a.m. And I enjoy it now. Now, in the beginning, I did not like doing it. So I had to stack my habit with something I really liked. So I love a cup of coffee in the morning. So I made sure that I laid out my clothes and everything. And I would have to put my clothes on before I went downstairs to have my coffee. And then I would make sure I went straight outside. Now, this was when it was also getting lighter earlier. And now it's getting darker, or it's dark earlier. So I have to wear a headlamp and all that, or else I start on my treadmill. Okay, but in regards to the quality of our lives depends on the quality of our habits. Think about what kind of habits you have right now. Are your habits watching TV all the time? Is that going to get you closer to your goals? No. I mean, maybe unless you're watching the History Channel and it's something really interesting that has to do with what you're trying to accomplish. Now look at this view in the back. There's the ocean. Isn't that amazing? Yay. So yeah, I just, you know, I try to analyze every day. It's important to have fun as well. You know, I don't think that everything needs to be like, you have to be producing all the time. You need to have fun, but you also have to analyze like, well, am I progressing? Am I achieving what I want to do? Because you have to look at yourself like in 5 years from now, what kind of person do I want to be? You know, and, you know, and I feel that's so critical to see even a year from now. You know, do I want to have For instance, someone wants to become a nurse or whatever. Well, what steps do I need to take to become that nurse in 1 year from now? Okay, so the second thing is improving by just 1% per day will help you, will actually gain 37%. And I'm going to actually, for 1 year, you will get 37% better by the end of the year. So these are statistics that have been measured, not by me, but by this author, and he got the statistics from somewhere else. This is a master bathroom in this house, and look, they did all the shower and everything, and it has great views. So just think about that. So your goal is you want to go to Italy in a year from now, and isn't that wonderful? I went to Italy a year ago, and it was my favorite trip ever, Italy and France. And so you want to learn as much as you can about the language, Italian. So start right now, take baby steps, and just do like, be more familiarized by 1% per day. Spain, okay, so good job. Definitely, Stuart. So you get out, the Spanish books. And of course, people in Spain speak a little bit different than they do in Mexico. I did learn that when I was in Spain. So you get the correct type of Spanish book. And Audible is really good for that. And you just set a goal of how much time is it going to take per day to learn the Spanish. And maybe it's just 30 minutes. That's it. You set a goal. How hard is it to do that for 30 minutes? Here's the bedroom. That beautiful. This is just a secondary bedroom. And you just do that every single day. And then within a year, you're going to be 37% more knowledgeable in Spanish. And that's going to make your experience that much more enriching, because you're going to actually be able to converse with people in Spain. And that's always much, much better. Okay, so I'll get on to the next one. Plateau of latent potential. Okay, does anyone know what that means? I'll give you a second. You know this one. So when you finally break through, let's just say you finally are successful. Okay, just like when I became successful in real estate, all of a sudden people said, "Guy, wow, you just like, all of a sudden you're so successful, and how did you do it?" Well, it took me, quite a few years to become successful in real estate. Well, I mean, my first couple of years, I actually sold 70 homes in real estate because I really worked hard, but I had to continue that. But it's been a lot of hard work. I mean, gosh, to go back 30 something years, I don't know if I'd ever want to do that again. I'm very grateful for where I am because it was a lot of hard work. Knocking on doors, doing everything you could imagine. But a lot of times people think that it's, you are an overnight success, like, actors, that are all of a sudden, or musicians, all of a sudden they become well known, but they've been doing it for like 15 years. But it's those little incremental habits and successes, and going to, the dingiest places to play their music and stuff. And just those, those little improvements have made all the difference. I'm gonna stay up here because it's so pretty. All right, and then I will get through this. So a mastery, so it says, however, it's a mastery of patience of small little habits. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, and then another item is forget about goals. Isn't that surprising? When I heard that in the Audible, it said, forget about goals. I was like, wait a minute, I am so into goals. Why would I forget about goals? But then it clarified it that much more. It says, focus on systems instead. And there's a big reason for that, because goals are about the results you want to achieve, whereas systems are about the processes that lead you to your goals. So, okay, so you think about this. You write down your goals. And I used to do this all the time. But I actually achieved quite a few of my goals. But I would write down, okay, I meet Oprah Winfrey by the year 2000. I wrote that out in my journal over and over and over. And it actually happened. I was on the Oprah Winfrey show January of 2000. And I really didn't work at it. So they called me, Harpo Productions called me in January of 2000. And they said that they wanted to interview me to be on the show. And I got on the show. So something mystical happened with that. But most of the time you have to work at it. So if you just don't you're not in fantasy land and just say, okay, I'm going to write this down that I'm going to be worth $10 million or whatever. Okay, the most important thing is to write out the steps. Have a system how am I going to achieve that? So it's really important that we focus on the systems instead. And systems are about processes that lead you to those goals. And what's really important is these are the problems with goals. So I'm just going to tell you what the challenge is, which is goal setting is. Winners and losers have the same goals. Whoever developed the best system is the winner. So I'll give you, I'll just, expand on that. So you think about this, Olympians. All of the Olympians have the same goal. They want the gold medal, they want the silver or the bronze. Okay, so what makes the gold medalist win over the other Olympians is because they have better systems. And what systems consist of is better habits. So maybe their habits were, and they got up earlier. They were more consistent with training, or their training was different. Their systems were better. So not that their goals were any different. Their goals were the same, and that was to get the gold medal. Okay, also another challenge with goals, just having goal setting, is momentary goals. And that is you clean your room. Boy, am I notorious for this. Okay, so I have a goal, and that is to clean my house. I have a house cleaner, but sometimes my house just gets a little out of control because I'm in a rush to get to, look at that ocean view, to get to the office and everything. And that's never been my strong point. I have really great people around me who organize me. So it's never been my strong point. I've never been really good about keeping up after myself around my home. Now, when it comes to, I'm fastidious about organizing my notes with clients. I've always been a Franklin Covey person. I have my book still for Franklin Covey, even though we are very computer organized at the office and we communicate through that. I will always be a Franklin Covey person. But I have never been really good about, I have to have a house cleaner. And, if I put the laundry down, I won't necessarily put it all away. So that is my downfall. So is that something that I need to look forward to working on? Absolutely. So what it says is cleaning your room temporarily. If you don't change your habit, it's just a temporary thing. Okay, so I'm at fault for this one for sure. Okay, so what happens is if I let my place go, okay, so now I'm in a smaller home than I used to be. I used to be in a big house, and I could kind of hide a little bit because my living room was always so perfect, my dining room, everything, because those are rooms I never used, and so they always looked perfect. So when people came over, they always saw those places and went, "Oh my gosh, your home is so gorgeous." But now I live in a smaller place that you walk in and you're just like, well, if I don't keep it up, people notice. So so sometimes I don't want people to come over unannounced, which is so terrible, but I just have to keep myself up. So anyway, another thing, a challenge with goals is thinking that once you achieve your goal, you will achieve happiness. And and oh boy, I totally understand this one too. I noticed that because I set a goal, so every 45 days, 30 to 45 days, I'm running a new race. So it may be a 50K, 50-kilometer race. I just did a 30-kilometer race. It may be something else. I'm getting, my goal is to do a 100-kilometer race next year, but I'm not ready for it yet. But I noticed that once I achieve it, I'm depressed the next day. But yet I should be so proud of what I accomplished. But it's not like I'm depressed. Maybe I'm just exhausted because the race is so hard. But I noticed I did this stage race, the Trans Rockies, which Kevin was, or I don't know if he's still on here, but it's an amazing stage race, 6-day race, 120 miles. And I came off of that and I was just, I got a little depressed because even though I feel I did really great, I got sick on one of the days. I couldn't do that. And then one of the other days, I didn't do that great, but I still managed to do the majority of the race. And it was 120 miles altogether. So, and that was, only 8 months into starting my running. So I should have been, but I got bummed out still. So, what I think what's really important for me now is when I set a goal, and I always want to have goals, and I'm so passionate about ultra running. I love it. I absolutely love it. And people don't understand why I love to run so many miles. I have to have another goal right behind it. So once I ran that one race, I run another race, but not right after, but I set that goal I already have it under ultra sign up for the next 30 days or 45 days or whatever it is. So it's something I look forward to. Okay, I promise I'm almost done. My goodness, I'm talking so much. And then, the last challenge that they have down in chapter 1 of this book is goals are at odds with long-term progress. It can create a yo-yo effect. What will push you forward what's going to push you forward once you accomplish those goals? So what happens is, like weight loss goals. Okay, for example, you lose the weight, and then, what happens is a lot of times people gain the weight back. So what's going to keep them on, to be happy with the way they're eating? Instead of it being a diet, it should be a way of life. So that's like the yo-yo syndrome with certain goals. Like they're so into, I'm going to, have this goal to be a certain size before my high school reunion, or when I get married, my wedding date. But enjoy the process and are you enjoying the food you're eating? Did you start a really great exercise program that you're embracing? Otherwise, you're going to go back to the way you were. So that's another thing with goals. Okay, then only have a couple more things. And then if you're having a problem changing your habits, it's not you, it's your system. So think about that. A lot of times we have these habits that run us and that rule our lives. And, we have to get to the point of, we have to analyze, well, what's the system? Why is this habit ruling my life? So what I had to analyze is, first of all, I realized, because I had some bad habits, and obviously I still have some bad habits. I'm always going to have bad habits. But when I was really trying to knock some very bad habits out of my life, the only way I could take those out of my life was by introducing positive new habits that I looked forward to. And then when I implemented the new habits in my life, the bad habits literally went away because they weren't important anymore. So I don't even know if that really addresses this, but, really look at the systems, like, if you are, for instance, a smoker, like you're smoking cigarettes. I've never been a cigarette smoker, but, it's your systems around that smoking. So maybe the environment you're in, maybe being around healthier people, going to the gym, all of that. All these things you could write down if your goal is to really quit smoking. you have to develop systems for that. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You lower yourself to the level of your systems. Focusing on your systems instead of a single goal is the key to having atomic habits. And that's the name of this book. So just remember to focus on your systems. So your systems are, and maybe this is a really good idea. Like as soon as you wake up, you do this, the night before, you write down the 5 things you're going to do as soon as the alarm goes off. So you're being kind of robotic because in the morning, your brain is usually not, quite there mentally. So you say, okay, you just go off that list. Okay, I go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I get on my gym clothes. I go downstairs, get my coffee. Or maybe you bring it down to 10 items. And then you get in the car, you go to the gym. But you almost have to write these things down to make it a system, an automatic system. And then after a while, it becomes automatic where you don't need to follow this guideline, that you've written out for yourself. But I've done that. I've actually had these things written down on a sticky note on my mirror. And I've gone, okay, do this, do that, and then it becomes automatic. Okay, last thing, and then I'm going to get out of my client's property. An atomic habit is a habit, an atomic habit is a habit that's part of a bigger system. I didn't even know that. Oh, because atomic habit is just a minuscule little habit. And then when you accumulate one habit every day, that's how you change your life, by accumulating positive habits.